Yeah, it's old. It's old. These are newer. The Hawam got these maybe
2 years ago.
yeah, but they just get a smell. Remember, it's a dead animal. Dead animal parts. But the other one, yeah, it's old. We need to get a new one. That's what we need to get, a new big one. We're ready.
Oh, Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 16.
Man, every time the feed goes down, y'all miss all the good stuff. No, I'm playing. I'm joking. Go ahead.
And thou shalt gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof. And thou shalt burn with fire the city, and all the spoil thereof every whit. For the Lord thy God, for the Lord thy God, and it shall be an heap forever. It shall not be built again. Verse 17. And there shall cleave not of the cursed thing in thine hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show thee mercy, and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, when thou shalt hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep all his commandments, which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord thy God. Verse 14, chapter 14 and verse 1.
Right?
Ye are the children of the Lord your God. Ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which ye shall eat.
You'll be surprised at things that the Canaanites were doing, and the Egyptians, shaving off eyebrows, shaving off hair, and sacrificing it. Somebody died, I'm gonna shave this off. Like the things that they were into, the Most High is showing us that the markings on your body. Oh, I killed this many people, so I got the tattoo tears, and all those things that people conjure up in their mind that people still do. People still do. You watch the movie Black Panther. Remember Killmonger?
Yeah.
Every bump that he had in his body was a dead body. Signified somebody that he killed.
Yeah.
His whole body was full of them. His whole top half. He was a murderer, right? But think about it. Where did they get that from? You got those Hamite cultures that did that. Those Canaanites, they did that. They put markings. This is for that dead body. This is for that dead body. They do it in Russia and Siberia. People, you go to the jail and they got these type of tattoos that basically signify a dead body. They do it in jail, right? This is for how many people I killed. So, but they were doing it in this sacrificial way to serve their Canaanite Hamite gods. Go ahead. I mean, imagine if David was doing that. He wouldn't have nowhere to put no marks. But the point was, we didn't need all that. We didn't do that to serve the Most High. Remember, he said that what the nations do to serve their God is abominable. Don't do what they do to serve me. You don't have to. We read that earlier in Deuteronomy. Go ahead.
The ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer.
So what is this going to go into? The reiteration of the dietary law. Reiteration of Leviticus 11. Go ahead.
And the wild goat, and the pygarg, and the wild ox, and the chamois, and the chamois, and every beast of the part, and every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth the cleft into two claws, and cheweth the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney. For they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, because it divided the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud. It is unclean to you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass.
But you can have them. Remember, Job had dogs, right? If you had some type of agriculture, you can have swine on your land.
Yes.
They would help clean and keep it pest free.
Yes.
Right? You can have them, but then when it died, you wouldn't want to touch that. Let the other pigs clean him up. You see that? So you did have the camels. Remember, we use asses or donkeys. We didn't eat the donkey; it's an unclean animal, but you would use that for your transport. Camels for transport, horses transport, chariots. So we had these things. We just did not eat of their flesh, use their skin for clothing, and touch those dead carcasses. Go ahead.
Verse 9. These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat. And whatsoever hath not fins and scales ye may not eat. It is unclean unto you. Of all clean birds ye shall eat. But these are they of which ye shall not eat. The eagle, and the ostrich, and the osprey, and the glede, and the kite, and the vulture of its kind.
All either predators or scavengers. We don't eat predators or scavengers.
Right.
Hawks and eagles are predators. The ostrich, bird of prey. It doesn't go into what it is. It's some type of eagle. The osprey, unclean bird of prey. Black eagle, buzzard. See them buzzards? They be like 6 feet. Well, not 6 feet, like 4 feet. The long neck. You don't want to eat that because they'll just eat dirt. They'll just eat roadkill. Right. So we didn't eat prey, birds of prey, or birds that were scavenger. We didn't eat any animal that was a scavenger or a prey animal. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat, and every creeping thing that flieth is unclean unto you. They shall not be eaten. But of all clean fowls ye may eat. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates.
What's that?
I just did the most I said. Once you eat, you give it to them, let them eat it.
Yeah, if it died of itself, you didn't mess with that.
That's cold.
Yeah, you can give it to the stranger.
Oh man.
But this is the thing. Don't get it confused with I'm gonna let them eat pork. Like you weren't something that died of itself was fine, lawfully within the law. But then, like if I had a restaurant, I wouldn't be serving pork in my restaurant.
Right.
Right. We used to have like the hot dog spot in Colorado. They were beef hot dogs. You wouldn't want to give somebody something to break that law. Remember Matthew 5, 17, 18, 19. He that teacheth man, so shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. So you didn't give something unlawful to a nation just because they were a nation.
Right.
Oh, I could sell drugs to the nations, but not to my people. That's retarded.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk.
Right. You weren't gonna. Seethe means to boil. You weren't gonna cook a goat in the milk of its mother. Go ahead.
Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth every year by year. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy power, in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. and the tithe of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the firstlings of thy herds and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always. And if the way be too long for thee.
So what is this going to go into? Well, we're talking about tithes, right? So this right here is like the chapter. What are we in, 14?
Yes, sir.
Right, 14. If the way be too long, 14:24. This right here is going to show you about tithes, and that it wasn't just spices. The priest didn't just eat spices. You know, spices were good with a meal, right? But what's the priest going to do with a bunch of salt with no meat to put it on?
Right.
They're going to do with a bunch of cumin or a bunch of anise. What are they going to do with those things and not have nothing to cook with it?
True.
Remember, you're bringing this for people, right? That we're going to eat it. So it wasn't just thyme and coriander and all those things. It was anything that you increased in throughout the year, whether it be animal, money, whatever it was, you can bring. Go ahead.
Verse 24.
Uh-huh.
And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God has blessed thee. Verse 25. Then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shalt go unto the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. That's it.
Right. What's that?
What does it mean in verse 21 when it says alien?
An alien. A person that's not an Israelite.
Right.
Alien. They use that. They use that term. You ever hear the term illegal alien?
Right.
Right. Well, they use that term for anybody that's not an American citizen. They'll call them an illegal alien. So if you're coming from, they really put that term on Issachar, coming up from the borders. They call them illegal aliens. Right. But alien, you're just not a part of that nation. Right. So where you at? What verse is that? 21. Watch. Alien. Right, a foreigner. Foreign woman, unknown, unfamiliar, right? A person from a different society.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what it means by alien. Not like, even the word alien, what do they mean? When they say, oh, the aliens in outer space, what are they saying? People from not this world.
Right.
People not from this world, excuse me. So that's what it means when it says alien, a stranger or alien. Get it? Was that it for you?
Yes.
Lori. Next. Oh. Crying for his mama. Elijah Shabbat the Shah Yashakar Bon Yashala, men of Israel, Imayim. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahshabrakta. Sound like he's crying for his mama. Oh, wow, it smells. It stinks real bad. You don't smell it? Really? Damn. It smells bad. Bless. Rakata. So you're at Deuteronomy 14:26. You're going to read the 15:23.
Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 26. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thy household, and the Levite that is within thy gates. Thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee.
And you know, more than likely, you wanted to just buy something to be able to. Remember, it says it. And the Levite that is within thy, you should eat it with your. Let's see here. And thou shalt eat therefore before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice thou in thine household. So, you know, you probably didn't want to hand him a bunch of money and then walk off. Why? Because now you weren't giving yourself and your family that opportunity to sit with the priest.
Right.
That was part of not forsaking him, was to sit down with him. Remember, they weren't getting much interaction, but doing what? Next sacrifice. Next sacrifice. Oh, you got a problem? Let me pray over you. They weren't getting a lot of reaction until these moments. So what would happen to a man that wasn't getting a lot of interpersonal reaction, even doing something good?
It could become like just kind of
R word.
shut off or
Robotic.
numb,
Right.
Yeah.
Jaded.
Yeah.
You niggas is whack. Why I gotta keep doing this for y'all, right? Every high priest that's taken it from among men is ordained to give sacrifices for men, having compassion on the ignorant. But how is part of that compassion there? Well, I gotta sit with you and understand the human element to all the things that we all gotta deal with, right? So, you know, the priests wouldn't have that chance to just be on autopilot or just be robots. Next, it's like an assembly line of sacrifice. But let's break that up, and now you get to sit with the priests and rap to them. And how's your day? How's your life? Look, here's my family. Look at you know, the priests get to see. Remember the fruits of their labors when they would sit and counsel and give proper judgment on things. A lot of good came from what they were doing. So look at here. Oh, you counsel me on this woman. Now look at the product of this counsel. I got with her. Now look at our family. Look, let's sit with the priest and he could enjoy the family. Right? Remember, these men gave their lives. They gave up what we knew as family and being able to do certain things. So we have to still kind of provide that for them. Not just the corn and all those things, but that reaction that they may not have per se all the time. It was good to be able to sit with them and do that. You see that?
Also, like,
What's that?
it's like there's an element of love too.
Yeah.
You know, that the gratitude, the sincere love for that person, basically sacrificing themselves too.
Yep.
To sacrifice for you.
Yep. And that's how you would show that gratitude, by just sitting with them a little bit. Sit back, rap with them, eat with them, have a, maybe some light conversation, maybe some good jokes. Right? I mean, but we're not robots. That was the key. We weren't supposed to be robotic in this life. It's just a job. Yeah, it is your job, but at the same time, there got to be some level of, like she said, love, care, some emotion, some level of emotion in it. So these moments help to do that, right? It's just like, I'll give you today's update on that, right? It's just, I always say the formal things, class, right? Class is a formal thing that we do. It's formal. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. But if you're only around for the formal things, but then there's these other moments that you'll miss out on, right? If you're only around for one segment, like y'all online, if you never met me, you only know me online, right? So you only know one part of me. You only know one side of me. But the brothers and sisters here, they can catch me off camera. They know, right? They know the dad side, the husband side. They know all these different sides, where you only get the teacher side. right? But there's other elements to my personality, to my persona. I'm not persona. That sounds fake. To my personality, right?
So what makes you you?
That makes they're able to put all the pieces together and say, oh, okay, we get it. We get why he teaches like this or why that. They can see all the elements come together where you might only get one part. But if you're able to, you got to take that time to be around not just the formal setting, so yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 28. At the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase the same year, and shalt lay it up with thy gates, and the Levite, because he hath no part nor interest with thee.
Inheritance
with thee. And the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come, and shall eat and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hand which thou doest. Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 1. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor and that lendeth aught unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Or a foreigner that mayest exact it again, but that which is thine with thy brother, thine hand shall release, save when there shall be no poor among you. For the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, to possess it.
So you see, there was every 7 years a year of release.
Where they get that from?
That's where, your creditors. Oh, every 7 years it drops off your credit.
Whatever.
No, it don't. No, it don't. It still shows up on your credit report. They still can ding you for it. You got to get it wiped off. They stop trying to collect after a certain time. But we were supposed to. It tells us when it came to our brother. If you owe me $10, after 7 years, I'm supposed to let that go. Now, if you was a foreigner, I'm coming for that. I'm coming for that with usury. I'm coming for that with interest. Right? Where my interest at? But you weren't supposed to do that towards your brother. Why? Because we weren't supposed to try to keep ourselves. You weren't supposed to promote poverty and a bad estate amongst your brother. Right? The nations, they can fend for themselves. Now think about it. They do it to us.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Have some bad credit, and they making you pay double for that vehicle.
Yeah.
Have some decent credit, and guess what? They'll show you the little thing. Credit A, $750. Credit B, $500. And they added $40,000 more onto this car, and ain't no interest charge on this car. Right? Why? Because that's how they keep themselves with the money. They know who got the bad credit. They know who's broke. The majority is the majority of our people. So remember, when we get into Deuteronomy 28, it tells us that we should lend to them, and they should borrow from us. We would put usury on them if we follow, but that reversed. Now we got the interest rates crazy, and they keep raising that 1% every couple of months now.
Yeah.
You can't go get nothing now. Go try to buy you a house.
Yep, it is up there.
And don't think that that's not a big deal, 0.5%. That's adding like 30 grand to people's houses.
It is.
That's adding like 30, 40,000 onto a house.
Yes.
0.5%. Think about it, in interest. That's making your payment go from, $1,000 to $500, $1,000 to $1,500 on a mortgage and things like that. So
Just raise the interest too.
it just raised it 3 times. 3 times in the last 6 months.
On credit card.
And they said they're not going to stop. They said they're going to keep going until inflation is combated. We talked about a little bit of inflation the other day in class. You know that the Most High is controlling all that just through one thing, the rain. And not giving it. And then giving too much of it. Look at Mississippi, look at Dallas. Look at Louisiana, they swimming. They were just dry as hell, parched. Now they swimming. Still can't grow nothing in flood. Yeah, so go ahead, read on.
Verse 5. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all these commandments which I command thee this day, for the Lord thy God blesseth thee, as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow, and thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand for thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need.
Now, isn't there some logic to this? There's plenty of our people that's poor, right? Right? We can even right by the old school, there was plenty of just homeless. Now, I got a question. Just a question. Why don't we go just pick up random crackheads off the street and throw them in the house? It says help the poor. Is it logical?
No.
Because there's other scriptures that you can go to help balance out the thought, right? Of I want to do good to somebody, right? But why don't you just grab the first random poor person you see of the nation and throw them in? Right? Well, the scriptures say a man has many trains, baggage. Do you know what that person's about? Right? Do you know what they're on? Why are they in their condition? Why?
That's right.
Did you do? Are we looking into those things before we just make the move? Right? Because you can make that move, and then now their negative is going to be around you. And are you? Who in here is built to detox a man off of crack, drugs, weed? Who in here got that skill? Right, it takes a lot to get a man or a woman off addiction. You know what that takes? You literally got to be in a man's pocket. Like this. And everywhere he go, you go. And everywhere he goes, everywhere you go, he goes, and vice versa. He can't go to the restroom alone.
That's facts.
Oh, you going to the bathroom? Yeah, Con, I'm with you. Not in that way, but in that way, to watch, to make sure that you ain't, right? You literally like on a person to help combat. That's if they want it though, to help combat. I'm just using that addiction because think about it. There's plenty of our people out there that need help. Yes, but what man go to war and count not the cost? Are we equipped? Are we equipped to be able to detox people in the way that needs to be in the way that it'll be effective, right? You can help a person that's on drugs and crack. We had a brother that came in that was on crack, right? And what did we have to do? It was nights I had to sleep in the school with the brother to make sure he wasn't dipping off around the corner to score the next hit. He couldn't leave without leaving with me. And leaving with whatever brother was night it was to be in the school with him. We had to be there. I remember I was on the podium, right in the chair and sleep, man. All them nights, right? There was only one bed in the back, so he got that. But do you have the infrastructure to be able to combat that demon? That's a long-term fight to get a person clean off of, I don't care, weed, alcohol, drug, like. Y'all ever watch The Godfather of Harlem? That show? You gotta watch it. Remember what they was doing to the people that was on drugs, on heroin? They was tying them to the bed.
Yep.
We can't tie people to the bed. But that was their way of keeping them constrained in one place to watch them. And they were doing what? They vomiting everywhere, losing it, peeing everywhere. Like, are you set up to do that? Is the question. Yeah, you can do good. The Most High said, help your brother. But didn't he also come back and say, do good to the godly? Help not the
Sinner. Sinner. Sinner.
Help not the sinner. Right? So again, balance. I could take one scripture and run with that and use that as my reasoning to do something. But where is the balance in what you're doing? And why don't you just grab any random, sit in front of the jail and grab the first cat that walks out? Hey, you homeless? Oh, come on. Got you, son.
Right.
Really? Nobody's doing that because it's not logical. You got to know what you're involving yourself in. What man go to war and count not the cost? Right? What's that?
It was during Katrina, in Louisiana, when they bust all those people over here, one of the people were coming by just picking up the people and taking them to their houses. And they ended up finding one of the ladies dead in her closet.
Right.
Because
Yeah, because the rush to do good is good, but it says know who you're doing good to.
Yeah.
You know that person. Know those that labor amongst you. Know something about them. Know the background. What am I potentially getting myself into? And do I have the infrastructure to be able to follow through with what it is I'm trying to help this person with? Do they understand that they want the help and that they need the help? Do they understand that they're being helped? Is this going to be a long-term thing, a short, like all these things that right? Yeah, open up your hand wide. But do you compromise yourself? And yeah, we got to have faith in the Most High and belief, but guess what? If you put a person that's a killer around other people, he's more than likely going to try to do his thing.
Yeah.
If you put a person that argues around other people, he's going to be what? The argumentative, contentious. If you put an angry person around people, his anger is going to come out. So what it is am I equipped to be able to deal with those things that's in that person? But if I don't know what to even expect, ain't I just going to be surprised at every turn? Right? Even the brother that came in and he was on drugs, we knew he was on drugs. We knew he was on crack. Right? And we said, okay, well, these are the stipulations if you want to get clean. Yeah, I want to get clean. Okay, well then listen. You're gonna have a twin. We're gonna be joined by the hip. And you can't go nowhere without a brother. Nowhere. Everything you do, like obviously we gave him some privacy. We wasn't watching him use the bathroom. Right. But you go like we in the mall, you gotta go to the restroom, well, I'm gonna roll with you. To make sure you're not bending off down the corner and hitting up the local crack dealer somehow, some way. Because those addictions, they are strong. And they'll find a way to accomplish that addiction, So remember, what reasoning? I can always pull one scripture to justify myself. But the Most High deals with what? He said a false balance is what?
Abomination.
Right. We got to have the balance when we go and dive into things, man. That's what it's about. Balance, counsel, communication, all those things. Well, I should say the scriptures, communication, those things, you need them. You got to have them when you fight your war or the things you deal with that come from what you're doing. Some things you'll be able to, some fires you'll be able to walk through, and some fires are going to burn you up. Right? Who am I bringing around my family? Right? I look at a lot of the times, man, and I always talk about this. I try to, you see people out there, they thirsty, they dying of thirst and hunger and this. Ain't nothing wrong with buying them some food. Ain't nothing wrong with showing that level of compassion. Right? Ain't nothing wrong with if you got water in the car. I try to keep bottles of water in the car. Just you pull up at the light and the cat's talking about he's hungry. And I know it's 1,000 degrees outside. Here, man, take that. There goes a few. It don't even got to be our nation. Anybody, if I got it and I pull up and the cat's talking about hungry, bro, if I got food in the car, water in the car, I roll the window down and here you go. Right? whatever it is, whatever I can help. But am I gonna hand them a pocket full of money?
No.
Hell nah. I don't know how you deal with money. I don't know what trains you got, what addiction. So I'm not gonna give you that to propel that addiction, to make you comfortable in your condition, right? To the point where, oh, see, I could just be homeless, get money, and still be on crack. Nah. There's a reason why the Most High has those people in those situations. He controls that, but the trial of a man is in his reasoning. Why am I homeless? Well, I don't know how to manage money. My addiction is worth more than having a roof over my head. Because if I got weed money but not rent money, what the hell is my problem? And why should somebody offer me a helping hand? Right? If I got weed or gas, weed or gas. Well, if I blow the weed into the gas, if I shotgun the weed into the gas tank, will it run?
You know, think
If I
about
open
it.
the gas tank and blow the weed out, will it make the car go? No, it won't, dummy. But you got people that will debate like weed or diapers. Weed, well, the ash. They try to find a way. It's crazy, right? But those type of people, it's like they need a different type of help. They don't need the money to be able to perpetuate or keep pushing their habit. They need to be shown, like, look, this is what you're doing to yourself, your family, you know. And yeah, we're here to be the examples that change can happen, and when you do change, it's the result, you know. But you don't necessarily have to jump in that fire and pan with them. What's that?
For about 20-something years back in Colorado, my office sat between the detox board and the psychiatry board.
Were you downtown Denver? Oh, you were talking about where you work. Oh, damn.
I worked in Denver.
Psychiatry and detox.
Yeah.
And you were in the middle. Oh, my
In
gosh.
the middle, and we would see and hear some stuff.
I bet.
You know, and then I worked upstairs from the methadone clinic. So every manner of whatever we do.
Oh, you were
So if the
in the medical
clinics
field.
can't handle them,
Thank you.
you know, and the hospitals can't handle them, how are you as one person gonna handle them? They will run rings around you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the other scripture that I used to think of when we had our lovely guests was that the poor you shall always have, but you shall not always have me. And that was what Christ said.
Yeah, they always gonna be around, right? But again, there's always a way to help without. There's always a way to help and balance. There's always a way to be balanced and still offer help, and not put yourself in a position where now they cause you to react out of the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I could drive right down the block, right? I could pull out my little area and go right to the corner. There's somebody that needs a place to live. Why am I not grabbing him and throwing him in the house? Well, I got wife, children, right? You see what I'm saying? So I gotta think about that. Like, I'm not gonna just pull the nearest nigga off the street and throw him in my house. I don't know what he's on. Care what he say.
And it was scary, you know, because, you know, they would ask certain questions, you know. When somebody goes in your house and they just get there and they ask you, do you have a gun? You know?
I got myself.
Why
Why does it even? But that's what I'm saying. Like, like, why does that matter?
are they asking?
You got a roof.
Exactly.
You got a roof.
You know, saying he's a veteran and everything, or he's in some kind of guard or something like that. And I'm looking at his hair and I'm looking at him and I'm like, boy, they
Just don't say
they
guard.
ain't got no standards these days if that's what they let me in.
Yeah. You know, it's remember the Most High gives us wisdom to be able to weigh out situations. Why? Why? Because the Most High don't want us to go into situations and come out harmed or hurt. What's the point? Think about it. Just think about this. What's the point of you being able to help somebody and you come out scarred or hurt? What's that going to make you not want to do? Help. You're going to sit back like, man, I'm helping you. You know what I mean? Leaders, man, I'm done. I hang it up because I'm putting myself out there. I'm helping, but they don't give a damn. Right? So you got to have your mindset a certain way as a leader, as somebody that's trying to help others, But guess what? Me helping him and him not listening ain't doing nothing for me. It ain't taken away from me. Me helping him and him doing what I'm saying, it's not adding anything to me really either. If you look at it in that way, right? It's not harming or hurting, or harming or helping me, the individual. If he does the good, that's going to help all of us and benefit all of us. If he does the negative, he's only hurting himself. But these crazies out in the street that will kill you, will rape you, your woman, your girl, your kids, kidnap you, ransom this, that. When they get comfortable, they get a little bit mouthy and bold. It's like, whoa, you needed help, bro. You needed. What the hell is your problem? But see, you got to know that about people. You got to know some things about them before you just let them into that inner sanctum, because they will take advantage.
I was gonna say some people intentionally are out there because they have an agenda.
Thank you.
They have an agenda. They're manipulating, and they know that they pull on people's little
Heartstrings.
They can manipulate their way into your sanctuary and wreak havoc. And the system is built where it's almost, it can get really touchy getting someone out of your house that you opened up your home to.
Well,
And
the law is when a person lives in your house more than 30 days,
they're tenant.
they're a tenant. So you got to do the legal eviction.
Yeah, so
You got to go through the whole eviction process.
You gotta go through hoops and things just to get, and your intention was to help.
But think about it. When you got to go through all that,
And you just use wisdom.
when you got to go through that to get a person out your home, that kind of tells you shouldn't have had them there.
Kind. That's why what you're saying about like just opening up your home to people, you don't know what you're opening up yourself to, because there's agendas. They have layers and layers and layers and layers of things going on with them that, like you said, you may not be equipped to handle an addiction. But it's more than just an addiction. That's just one demon.
A man had.
They can have like
Here we go. Let's just get it.
all other kinds of demons on them that you're like, if Jesus Christ is what you need, not me. That's, I can't help you. They're that strong, right? So I'm like,
Ecclesiastes 11:29. There's many forms of help. Ecclesiastes 11:29. There's many forms of helping a person. Again, I'm not gonna pull up to a cat that's on the corner begging for money and give him money. Oh, you ain't got no money, so that means you hungry and thirsty. Here goes this food and water. I'll cut out the trip to the store for you. Oh, I don't want that. I want money. But then you must not be hungry. You must not be that bad off if you can dictate what type of help you need. But why are you in this situation? If you can dictate the help, then you shouldn't be here.
That's what Jesus.
Ecclesiastes 11:29.
Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 29.
Right?
Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains.
Yeah. You ever see that train and you sitting there waiting, trying to get to class, and that train is there? You're like, damn, this motherfucker's long as hell. Yeah. It's like cart after cart after cart after cart. You're like, oh wow, I'm gonna be late. It's too many trains. Like, yeah, that's a deceitful person they got, because there are deceivers in the world. She said it. Some people are sent just to cause chaos. They're not sent to get the Bible. But how do you know that? Prove a friend. Prove a person. What do you hear? Like, ask them. It's like, man, any chick that comes my way, that's my rib. Really?
It's terrible.
We'll work out all the rib stuff while we work out the stuff. Hell nah. We gonna see what you about before I lay with you. Right? I'm not gonna lay with you and say, oh yeah, so then, and then I expect you to be garments, and then they're gonna be like, nigga, what? But you already did the act. You already laid down with them. You already went that far with them. You already committed yourself. Prove a friend, right? Try to at least understand what this person's about. What is their plan, their agenda? Again, there's many forms of help. Ivy, what's up?
They call it serial squatters.
Oh, damn!
It was a thing.
Serial couch surfers.
It was a whole thing because these people know the law, especially on the East Coast.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like 3 weeks, and if they get mail there, boom, they come with this facade, they move in, they come with money right up front because you know these people need help. They need help to pay their bills. They come with money.
She said
boom.
serial squatters.
After 1 month, they're not paying rent anymore. I've seen the show on Netflix. They got a whole.
So what they do is you hit up the post office, get your address, your mail switched. Nobody's going to argue with that, right? It costs like $1 or $2 to do that. Mail's going, that's already set, right?
Gosh.
And that's easy to get some damn junk mail. But I got mail, right? And then,
people place.
yeah, and they were doing that more for like abandoned homes, right? But now look at these people that they're using those things during the pandemic to not pay rent and not to be evicted. Now you got to go through the whole process of evicting a person, which it don't take 30, 40 days no more. That's a process. Some states, you got to wait 3 months, then file the paperwork.
And it costs you money.
And it costs you dough to file that paperwork, to get the sheriff out, to get their stuff out. Then all they do is throw their stuff on the corner. The trash ain't taking everything. That sits there. You got to pay to get their stuff dumped. Like, it's a process. Why do you think... I had a question. Why do you think apartments go through credit checks and background checks and damn housing history before they move your ass in? And then first month, last month, third month, rent. They go through all this thing for just a regular They do a background check. Oh, you a murderer? You can't be in our community. Go find the community that accepts murderers. Right? Bankrupt? Oh, you can't be in our community. You broke a few leases. Nigga, nah. Ain't nobody taking that. You gotta go find a different means. Right? And we know the system is not designed to help. But remember, that's them proving the type of people they want around. Right? We know that we're gonna be dealing with brothers and sisters that are the sick need the physician. Right? We know that. But you're not gonna personally just throw yourself in the ring with a killer or something like that before you vetted this person and seen like, wait a minute, is that spirit still on them? Do they understand that they're wrong in that? Right? How do you prove them? How do you go through? We're always gonna have the poor with us. Right? We're always gonna have the poor with us, but why aren't we just knowing poor, like just grab it, go right down to the homeless shelter? Because if that's the case, right? Everybody mount up now. Why aren't we doing that? It's not the logic. The balance of the Bible is like, bro, no, you don't do that. Or we should, right? Or should we? Go to the homeless shelter and just grab all the homeless people. You gotta know what people's about. This is not wholesome 1960s where we were a community and we actually literally we cared a little bit about each other. No, this is the last times. Lovers of themselves, traitors, high-minded, heady. A nigga will move in your house and move you out.
Your house, yep.
Your house. Because he'll move in and move you out. You be ready to leave him in there. The only way to get him out is if I move out and cut the power. What the hell? I've seen that. Where it's like, damn, the only way to get them out, I gotta move out, stop paying the lights, stop paying the water. Nigga tap into the electric grid, he got cable. Nigga go bust a pipe, he got water. He could get bottled water. But think about that. To the point where it's like you got to go to these extremes because people are not dealing, especially if they're not dealing with the Bible. They're not going to do the Bible righteous brotherly thing.
But they like that you deal with the Bible because they perceive you as gullible.
Yeah, that's the point.
That's a great thing.
But we're not supposed wise as serpents, harmless as. Right, so that's the thing. Again, different aspect. You can't be gullible just because you got the Bible. Right. But you're right. They look at us like that. Like, the Bible? So he's supposed to be a good old Christian.
Oh, you don't take care of it.
Right? He's supposed to let me crap on his face and not even wipe it off.
Right, don't turn on the cheek.
Really? Crap on this side and crap on this side, because that's what the Bible says. Turn the other cheek, brother. What kind of Christian are you? No. We ain't that type of Christians.
Yeah, you're right
Come
about
on
that.
now.
We ain't them type of Christians. I'm gonna whoop your ass if you put your hands on me. I'm sorry.
I didn't want to say
I'm
that
not
out loud, man.
I'm gonna break you if you put your hands on me. Right? We ain't them type of Christians, man. You walk away with no elbows.
Son.
Joints all broke.
Thought you was a Christian.
Con.
I am.
I'm the Christian you can't touch. I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? But the way, the perception, but we're not supposed to walk around just naive and not
Circumspect.
wise, right? Not wise. Wise as a serpent. A serpent ain't putting himself against no wall or putting himself in a place where he can't move around and maneuver and plan his attack and, sneak up. What is it about a serpent? You don't see him coming until it's too late. So harmless as a dove, peaceful. I'm there, but I'm not. I'm peaceful. I'm doing the right thing towards you, but don't get it twisted. And a lot of these people, they got it twisted. They harp on our goodness. They play on our goodness and on the fact that we do teach the Bible. You know what I mean? But remember, Samuel cut a man in pieces, and he was the priest. He cut a king in pieces for disobedience. Right? David went to war. Like all these different things, the spirit that's in us, right? Obviously, we're not taking it to that level of cutting people up and shooting them and all that stuff. But if I have to go there with you, then there's a problem. I should have never had you in that circumstance. Obviously, you weren't picking up on what I was putting down. So just we gotta help each other. We gotta help them out there, right? We gotta help them out there. But remember, you don't go to war and become that casualty, or else what was the point of you going to war? All right. So just remember balance, man. Balance in all things. Who is going to be affected in what I endeavor in? Who is going to be affected? Yeah.
The Most High removed us and the dogs from the house. So that
Come.
he moved all of us down to Colorado. So we'd be safe. And I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, when I get back, I don't want to see him.
Actual dogs?
Yeah, we took the dogs with us.
Really? To Colorado? Damn, y'all was out there kicking it. About the pets? Yeah? Yeah, man.
I prayed, I was praying because I didn't want the mom to get in any trouble. And I didn't want to be in no trouble. I didn't want to see my grandson in no trouble. So both sides just worked it out perfectly. Sent us to Colorado. And I've not seen him since we've been there. So he heard our prayer.
Cop. Let's read on.
Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 8, last precept. In that which he wanted. Verse 9, beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the seventh year, the year of release, is at hand, and that I be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him not. And he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it be sin unto thee. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not grieve when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand unto. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in thy land. And if thy brother and Hebrew man when Hebrew woman be sold unto thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress. Of that wherewith the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him.
Just like Laban should have did to Jacob. He should have furnished him liberally. Jacob knew that Laban wasn't going to follow this, so Jacob had to circumvent Laban and his trash mind, right? And, breed the cattle a certain way, steal away in the night with his kids and his women, because he knew Laban wasn't going to follow this. Laban wasn't, how did he know? Well, he said, you changed my wage 10 times in these years. Right? First mishap. I'm going to give you Leah. Oh, or I'm going to give you Rachel. Oh, there goes Leah. Yep. I didn't contract for Leah. Well, you got to deal with it. Because our custom is this. Wait, so you going to hit me with your custom after the fact?
Right. Yeah.
Right, you get to see that, wait a minute, the way a man is moving ain't savory. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in the land of Egypt.
Right.
And the Lord thy God redeemed thee. Therefore, I command thee this thing today. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee,
Shalom.
and thine house, because he is well with thee, then thou shalt take an awl,
Yep.
and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be thy servant forever, and also unto thy maidservant. Thou shalt do
Now remember, we didn't have slaves of our people, but we did have servants. Right? A man could pay his way out of being your servant. And if he wanted to go, he can go. Right? Or if he liked the way you did things and he wanted to just continue to serve you, right? And you provided and he was a good help and you were a good brother to him, man, you could stay with him. But he would, boom, pierce that ear to show this brother decided that he wanted to be with me. Right. Y'all see that? Yeah. But, yeah, go ahead.
Verse 18.
What's that? Hold up.
By them doing that all in their ear, could they, let's say they wanted to stay with you, right?
Right.
But after so many years, they say, well, I don't want to be here no more. I want to go do my own thing. They couldn't do that, right? Or because they made that choice.
And it was a bondman. And it shall be, if he say unto thee, I will not go away. So basically after the 7 years.
Oh, after 7 years.
After the 7 years, and he had a choice to leave. But every 7 years he had that choice.
Okay.
Remember, the year of release was every 7 years.
Okay.
Or, 7 years they had that choice to leave. So, yeah, I mean, he wasn't bound to be with you for his life.
Right.
Right? He could say, you know what, 14 years? How long was Jacob?
21 years.
Right, 7, 14, 21. Right? So after that 21 years, it was time for him to be released. He knew that the years was coming up. He knew it, but Laban wasn't going to move the right way. He knew that also.
Right.
That's why he had to set things up. Jacob is in the law. Jacob is dealing with the law. Laban and them are dealing with the law, but skewed the law. Remember, they're from Abraham also.
Right.
Abraham taught them. But what happens is they start to throw different variations of the custom of the land. Right? Who was older, Rachel or Leah? I forgot what he said.
Leah was older.
Right. So he said the custom is we don't let the younger marry before the first.
Right.
But I mean, bro, I don't remember reading that in the Bible where it had to be the younger woman.
Right.
or the older, it was whatever that man contracted for. Whatever dowry he set up for whatever woman, that, it didn't matter how, like, if she was the older sister or not.
Right, right.
You see that? But Laban and them, they skewed that law.
He's on the fly.
Right, or whatever custom the people came up with in that land. So Jacob was seeing what they were about. So Jacob was following that law. He knew, listen, think about it. Why did he have to steal away, it said?
Yeah,
Because he was going to try to keep the kids. Remember, he came, he's like, give me my women and give me my wives and my children. Like,
I hate that part.
con.
That's so whack.
But it even does say it here. Watch.
That's so whack.
Right. And when thou, verse 13, and when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out thy flock and out thy floor and out thy winepress. And if that wherewith the Lord thy God hath blessed thee, thou shalt give unto him. You see that? So Laban said it. I'm blessed because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wasn't trying to share that with Jacob. He was trying to stay blessed.
Well, what's crazy is Jacob, because of his, I guess because of Laban's history and his pattern of not doing things the right way, he had to set up himself, like with the animals and
Yeah.
stuff, and
Yeah.
that way when he did leave, when he left,
He left rich as hell.
Laban didn't benefit off of it. Like
Yeah.
like Jacob benefited off
Yep.
of it when he left with his family. That was golden right there.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't play a player, right?
Well,
like
that's why Jacob,
Yeah.
Yaquab, the supplanter,
yeah.
right? He got the birthright, supplanted that. Then he supplanted Laban, but out of sheer necessity. How are these men moving? Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. He didn't leave Laban with nothing.
Right.
Nah. It's just
He just made sure that he was set up to be able to carry on his family and lineage in their own space. But he didn't steal from Laban,
Nope, not at all.
right? He didn't steal from Esau. Esau gave that up.
Yep.
Jacob was just there to catch that.
Right.
Esau fumbled. Jacob was like, "Look, let me get that fumble. You fumble, bro. I'm gonna recover that fumble. I'm gonna run that back."
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now you see why we play football now. But Jacob recovered that fumble that Esau fumbled,
Yep.
and he ran that back for a touchdown.
Can't be mad.
Same thing with Laban. He recovered that fumble, right? He set himself up in a way where it didn't take away from Laban in a way to break him down or leave him in a worse state than when Jacob came.
Right.
And it was able to give Jacob something to be able to now what? Again, circumvent Esau. Send these flocks, send this, send that,
Yep.
so he can see it, so he can not kill us, right? Appease him. A gift destroyeth the heart. Jacob knew it. Bro, Jacob was a smart man.
Yes.
But what did that take? He sat back and watched. What am I dealing with? Who am I dealing with? You changed my ways these 10 times. So what I'm supposed to do? Sit back here and just let you just keep using and abusing me?
Wish he would have.
Nah, we gotta do something different. I'm not that type of Christian. Turn the other cheek for another 21 years? Nah, bro, I'm out. I'm up. Right? So,
You know what's crazy too?
Uh-huh.
You can also parallel that to the way he dealt with which one of the daughters? It was Leah that took the gods, right?
no, it was Rachel.
Rachel that took the gods.
Yep.
Yep.
It was Rachel that took the gods. So like there was mad influence there too.
Oh, yeah.
That bled over into his kids also.
Yep.
He was like not a good guy.
No. Yeah, Rachel was on that.
Yeah.
Rachel, but Rachel was the privileged one, the pretty one.
Yeah.
Right? So she had that. She was able to get away with more. Leah, she had to be the humble one. She had to be the fallback because she was, what did it say?
Not her.
She was, she had a lazy, not lazy eyed, but something eyed, where it was saying that she wasn't as pretty.
Right.
Right? So she wasn't going to get away with much. So what was going to be her beauty? Her humility and her belief in the Most High. Her ability to follow Jacob and be about Jacob. Where Rachel can depend on her beauty.
Yeah.
Right? And those things, just showing like, even Jacob having Rachel, or Leah, that was the more choice woman to have.
Yeah.
When you look at it, she was.
Tenderine.
Tender-eyed.
Yeah, kind of.
Right. You know, so, yeah, a lot from that story. Where we see the laws is being written down now, but they were like doing those things in practice in life. Just everyday life was about executing the law. Go ahead.
Verse 18. It shall not seem hard unto thee when thou sendest him away free from thee.
Laban, it was hard for him. He was like, what the hell? I'm about to be broke. I can't go through this. Read.
For he had been worth a double hired servant to thee, and serving thee 6 years. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all that thou doest. All the firstling males that come of thy herd out of thy flock, thou shalt sanctify unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work for the firstling of thy bullock, nor shear the firstling of thy sheep. Thou shalt eat it before the Lord thy God, year by year, in a place which the Lord shall choose, thou and thy household. And if there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame or blind, or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike. And the roebuck and as a hart, only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof. Thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water.
Right. Where do you read to?
That was it for.
Oh, that's it? Everybody? All right, you can read. That guy's over there knocked out.
Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1.
You're reading. There you go. You can read too.
16. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Most High thy power. For in the month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thy God, of the flock and the herd, and a place which the Lord shall choose to place his name there. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt, all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee, and all thy coast 7 days.
Why is he going through this again? We read this in Leviticus. Why are we reading this again? Why, I'm one,
Because this is actually a new group of people.
basically. Basically, right? That generation is dying off, and there's a reiteration for this new generation. Remember, we right here getting ready to cross over into this land. So Moses has to reiterate the things that he's already said. That's why he's touching the dietary law. That's why he's touching the Passover, right? You read about the Passover in Exodus. Then you read about it again in Leviticus, right? But that generation, the 40 years is, we're at the tail end of the 40 years, right? As you read this. So that's why it's being reiterated to the new generation that's going to go in. All their parents are dying off, grandparents, that old mind state supposedly is dying off, and these new generation is being ushered in. Go ahead.
Neither shall there anything of the flesh, which thou sacrificed the first day at even, remain all night until the morning. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Most High thy power giveth thee, but at the place which the Most High thy power shall choose to place his name in.
So now you see there's one difference. Remember in Exodus, he said, sacrifice the Passover in your gates and strike the blood.
Right.
He's like, now you don't do it within your gates. You're going to do it where I want you to do it, in one designated place. Because now it was about circumstance.
Okay.
What was the circumstance in Egypt? That we couldn't just go be in one place. We had to protect ourselves in our homes. And the way to do it at that time, every man according to what? A lamb according to what?
Size of his family.
Right, according to the size of the household. You kill it, you eat it, strike the blood on your doorpost. Stay in your house, in your habitation. Now, fast forward. When I give you your land, you're going to have something set up to be able to go do all the feast days. A central location. Go there. Don't do what you did in Egypt. Don't eat it in your house alone.
Con.
See that?
Con.
Right, go ahead.
Well,
There.
because now, I'm sorry, because now it's about the convocation, about.
Well, and it always was, but situation. In Egypt, we couldn't do the convocation because of what was about to go through.
Right.
It's just, but now it's about now you have the space, the opportunity, the land. You have your own land. Remember, discontinuing from your heritage, you don't have a land. You can't congregate. You can't serve. You can't do the things that you want to do.
Right.
Why, when you go to China, they got all their little temples everywhere. Japan, they got all their little tea houses and temples.
Right.
Go to India, temple, right? But then they have certain places that they just, certain events, boom, centralized. And they have like little outskirt temples and things like that.
Right.
But what the Most High was showing us, yes, y'all gonna come together for these feast days, right? So that was really the only change going forward. Was that instead of doing it in your gates and striking the blood on the posts, you're gonna do this together. You see that? Go ahead.
There thou shalt sacrifice a Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which the Most High thy power shall choose. And thou shalt turn in the morning, and go into thy tents. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Most High thy power. Thou shalt do no work therein. Verse 9. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Most High thy power, with a tribute of a freewill offering of thine hand, which thou shalt give unto the Most High thy power, according as the Most High thy power hath blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice before the Most High thy power, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Most High thy power hath chosen to place his name there. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe to do these statutes. Verse 13. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days, after that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and the manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Most High thy power, in the place which the Most High shall choose. Because the Most High thy power shall bless thee in all thine increase, and in all the works of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the Most High thy power in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Most High empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Most High thy power, which he hath given thee.
Right. We get that? Where we jumping to, Isaiah 66?
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 1.
right, so we're jumping from Deuteronomy to Isaiah 66. Then we're going to jump over into what, Matthew?
John.
John, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 66, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? For all those things have mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor, and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth a lamb, as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation, as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense, as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their souls delighteth in their abominations. I also will choose their delusions, and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not.
Choose you this day, life or death, blessing and cursing. But then now we can't have that nerve. Is the stranger referring to the heathen? Yeah, the stranger is referring to the other nations. Yes, the other nations that were round about us. You had nations. Remember, when we came out of Egypt, we came out with a mixed multitude of people. We came out with Egyptians. Some of them followed us, and if you look at Egypt, Egypt was a flourishing society. So they didn't just have us as slaves. Remember, the Egyptians were fighting with the Nubians, right? They were fighting with those people. They were fighting with a lot of different people and had slaves of a lot of different countries around about. So the stranger was, yes, other nations outside of Israel. The alien, same thing. What's that?
I was gonna say that, one thing I had to realize, I had to broaden my thinking whenever I was thinking about Egypt, because when you look at like movies and stuff like that, you think of it as like one small place, but Egypt was just like America. It had, transportation, they had, commerce, they had everything that we have here, but just doing it the way they did it back then. So it was a nation. This wasn't just a small spot.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
It was huge.
Yeah, it was.
Think about this. Joseph was sold into slavery to the Egyptians, right?
Right.
Now, just think about that. He was sold all the way from the land of Canaan into Egypt. Joseph wasn't the only one that was taken as a slave and brought to Egypt. There were many nations that were taking slaves and selling them. That was a thing.
Right.
You would sell a man into slavery to get some money. So just understand that concept that we weren't the only ones there. Right? We weren't the only nation. It wasn't just us and the Egyptians. Egypt was like a little small melting pot of you had different people. You had all those people of that day, the Chaldeans, and you had different Hamite tribes. Remember, the Egyptians come from Ham, right? You had different Shemite tribes. We weren't the only ones. You had Ishmael. You had all these different tribes and different people. So just imagine there was a commerce of slave trade that was happening. So you had a melting pot of people that ended up in Egypt. The scriptures focus on us, but like you said, if you look at and broaden your perspective and understand, why does the Most High call America spiritual Sodom and Egypt? Because the same characteristics that those countries have, Sodom, Egypt being the land of bondage, Matazarium, bondage and slavery. It wasn't just bondage and slavery for Israel. That was bondage and slavery for anybody that went there outside of an Egyptian.
Right.
That's what that represented. So, yeah, it is about broadening your understanding and your perspective and just looking at it from the point of view of today. What's happening today? Well, America is the melting pot for all nations, right? And when think about when Yahweh Shai comes, you don't think that people are going to be trying to come with us that aren't Israel?
Definitely.
They're going to cling on to him, that the skirt of him that is a Jew, right? Oh, I know I'm Chinese, but I'm trying to be down with you. I want to be called by your name so I can be saved, right? Like, it says 7 women shall cling to one man. It didn't say 7 Israelite women.
That's right.
Right? It just says 7 women, because people of the nations are going to wake up and be like, whoa, hold up. We going to die?
Beheaded lives.
What's
Do
that?
you think that's like an agenda now? Because they're really pushing all of these, like,
Yeah.
every
I don't think it's an agenda. I think what it is because that's a move right now. That a lot of American men, what are they doing?
Yes.
They going to the Philippines. They going, but remember, some of those people are our people too.
Right.
But what it is there's this movement of especially black men. They crapping on these American black women. All they gotta do is go to the Dominican Republic. Hola. And all of a sudden he got 4 women around him ready to do whatever. This is gonna go to another topic, but what are these men looking for? Well, the typical American woman, the typical Israelite woman in America, her mind is not on submissive. Her mind is not on being a wife. It's being a boss chick. It's being domineering. We see it on Instagram and are you dumb? Like them type of New York chicks, that New York that bully type of, I'm gonna bully this love, right? So they're like, man, I'm about to go where these chicks is a little bit more humble, right? I'm gonna go to these third world countries where these chicks need to come up. And a little bit of money, it don't take a lot to please them because they come from humble beginnings, right? Even though the women here come from humble beginnings. But think about it. I watched one Instagram. This chick said, I want a man that's going to buy me an 8 cut diamond ring? What is it? 8 princess cut? Something weird. And when they looked it up, it was a $200,000 ring just for the engagement. She was talking to another woman. That woman was like, the white girl was like, you're going to miss out on a lot of men because not a lot of men can afford a $200,000 engagement ring. And the engagement ring is less than the marriage ring, the wedding ring. Right? So imagine a $200,000 engagement ring, I propose. Then you got to come with the wedding band, which is what? Another couple thousand? 400,000?
On top of that.
So she want a ring that she said, I want to be able to be seen across the street. This is Judah talking like that, and Esau's like, nigga, you tripping. You ain't gonna get no man. Because that's the mind that they're on. But then she's like, well, I want to be able to get with a man that's gonna provide what I can provide for myself. She was like, so you can buy a $200,000 ring? Shut her ass all the way down. She was like, nope. Because that's the problem. Like, our women are living, they're being fed the agenda of hypergamy.
Yeah.
Dating above, right? I want somebody that's above on the next level. If I'm an employee, I want to date the boss. But you can't provide for yourself like the boss can. Right? So they're getting caught up in, well, I want somebody that's going to provide better for me. But you got to be able to provide it for yourself first. Right? So what are these men doing? They be getting passports, man.
Yeah.
And they going to Japan. The Philippines is the big one. Because you know what? The Filipino chicks, they'll take a fat white boy quick and be humble, be submissive, be down, give them kids, and they don't care about baldness, fatness, all that.
I got a story on that one.
That's been like that for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, way back in the day when men used to marry
Male order rides. Yeah.
It was mostly Filipino women that these old white men or young white men that had money.
Because what are the women here looking at? Oh, you bald and you fat. Well, that's half the male population in America. It's bald and fat, right? You're not gonna get. I want the young 40. I want a 40-year-old man with 6-pack abs that looks like the Hulk. You're not gonna find that in a lot of 40-year-old men. You're not gonna find a lot of 30-year-old men. They're not breeding that here. That's a rarity.
Right.
And he gotta have the money to support me and kids and me and a lifestyle and a Porsche and all. Come on, man. You live in a dream life that a lot of even celebrities can't live and support.
Yep. Disney fairy tale.
Yeah, it's a fair. So what are these men doing? Well, they hopping on TikTok like, look, watch this. I seen a dude do it. He did it a few times. He was in Brazil, and he said, well, all you got to do is say hi. And these women will say, hola. And they was going into the car. They were like, oh, he's American. Boom.
Oh my goodness.
And they ready to just hang out. They ready to go home with him, right? Because why? They looking at their circumstance like maybe he can do something better. You know? So yeah, there is a mind that's there is a agenda that is pushing that. Because now when it gets on social media, that's an agenda to push that. But think about it. Whose fault is it? Judah got to get their thing together. These women got to get their thing together, man. America is doing y'all a disservice. They pushing y'all out the circle.
Yeah.
You know, even the ones that come here, the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans and they come here, they be humble and all that, and they learn how to be a New Yorker. Negro, please. Ain't nobody want Cardi B.
No.
Nobody want that type of woman. Hell nah. I want to be a Dominican from Dominican Republic that's humble. Right? But come on, let's be real. That only goes so far. Humility is something that got to be in a person and constantly worked on.
Right.
Just because she submits to you in one thing don't mean she ain't going to rebel in another.
Right.
And what are we dealing with? Lesser of two evils no matter what you deal with. Our people are our people.
Yeah.
And they're rebellious, hard-headed, stiff-necked. She might submit. Does she believe in the Most High? She might believe in the Most High, but is she rebellious? Is she like, you got to knock down all the different things, right? So am I saying or advocating for brothers to go to Brazil or go here and get a woman? Man, you're going to deal with something no matter where you go. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. They control, they push what they want to push. And the sad part is this. Those humble women in other countries are influenced by the beast.
Yes.
What?
So I went to Africa, right? And my cousin out there in Africa, what she had told me was never take a woman that's from Africa to America.
Oh, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap because she's gonna change everything that you thought that you had when she was over here. Is gonna be different over there because now she's made it.
Yep.
Right. She doesn't need you no more.
Nope.
So.
And that's what happened to a lot of Caribbean women. They get over here and they all of a sudden become nurses, and all of a sudden they can make a little bit of pocket change.
No money.
And now, bro, they are beasts. They are animals, right? It's like there's no level of it's selfish. Now you got to provide for me and do the things I can't even do for myself. It's a mentality, but that's what's being bred into our people.
Yeah.
You know, but going back really to the point, what were we talking about? We were talking about the strangers.
Right.
I don't know how we got to the women. Right? But, yeah, the stranger. Oh, the mixed multitude and all that stuff. Yeah, the stranger was those people that weren't the Israelites, that were walking through that wilderness with us, trying to be down, right? Trying to be saved from. They saw the destruction in Egypt and said, "I don't want no parts of that. I want to be with y'all."
It's like the people that came like later after in Joshua when they were like.
The Canaanites.
Yeah.
Because they knew the prophecies and they knew that we were supposed to kill them, so they came. They lied. We traveled from a far land. We ain't got no bread. We ain't got no this. We'll be your servants.
Yeah.
We were supposed to kill them.
Yeah.
But they knew that, so they tricked Joshua into not dying, and they became servants.
Yeah.
Which that wasn't supposed to happen. But yeah, go ahead. Where we at?
Isaiah chapter 66 verse 5.
Right.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said, let the Lord be glorified. But he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of the Lord that rendereth recompense to his enemies. Before he traveled, she brought forth. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who have heard such a thing? Who has seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to the birth, and not cause to bring forth?
Right. So shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Meaning, look at the things that we're dealing with. It's like a woman in travail. Those birth pains, they're getting closer and closer. There was another shooting yesterday. Oh, y'all ain't here? It was in I want to say it was in Kansas, or I want to say, you said what?
A school shooting?
Not a school shooting,
No.
but I got the little it was like active shooter. Some white dude went, shot up. Buck. Where was it at? And it came on my little app. Hold on, let's see if I could. But yeah, there was a shooting yesterday. I wasn't paying attention to it. I don't even pay attention to that stuff no more. I'm just like, bro,
Con.
Was it in Colorado?
Wasn't in Colorado. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember seeing it. Active shooter, Cypress family. Let's see here. R. Kelly, Timberwolves. No.
In Kentucky?
Kentucky, that's what it was. Yep. What did it say?
It says active shooter situation in Western Kentucky leaves 2 dead and 2 injured.
Yeah. I mean, it's going down. These mass shootings.
It took place at a Harbor House Christian Center.
Oh, that's why it made the news. He went and shot up a Christian center. Yep.
Wow.
He went and shot up a Christian center. That's why it made the news. Damn, beware of poison napkin on car door handles.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the one that the sister put in
Putting
the
up, yeah.
chat.
Yeah.
What is it, fentanyl they using?
Not sure.
I'm not sure.
Probably fentanyl.
Yeah, because that's something that absorbs quickly into the skin.
Yeah. Put you down. Oh my God. Yeah, fentanyl, they put that on flowers. You sniff that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But think about the things that are turning up in the earth as far as the travail. It's not one thing, it's another, and all these things are just getting closer and closer. All the shootings, all the weather incidents, all the flooding, all the fires, it's just more rampant. Right? I don't know if y'all remember hurricane season last year, but bro, that was the most named storms in one season. There was hurricanes hitting Louisiana last year. Man, it's like the Most High hates Louisiana.
Yeah.
He does. He hates that place.
Keeps coming.
He just keeps hitting it. Lake Charles was just getting smashed. Smashed. Was it Lake Charles? Yeah. They got hit yesterday. And all it did was rain. Mississippi, Indiana, flooded. Alabama, flooded. Dallas yesterday again, flooded. Monsoon weather, flooded.
Does not mess with them.
Most High is ramping it up. It ain't gonna happen all in one day. You see that? It ain't all gonna happen in one day. It's gonna be a constant boom, and then let's chill for a moment. Coronavirus is gone. Oh, monkeypox. Right? They just got what? 500 confirmed cases in Texas. And I think they just got the first confirmed case in Harris County or something like that yesterday. I don't know. The children catching it. Right? Most High is just bringing it through, man. It's going to be monkeypox and it's going to be something else. And you just can't get caught up in who the hell would have thought monkeypox was even a thing?
Right. Yep.
Oh, polio.
Yeah.
Polio is about to start hitting.
Oh my goodness.
That's hitting people. That hitting in New York, I think they got what? A couple of hundred cases? Or a few cases? And guess what it's going through? Guess what it's going through? The agua. They finding it in the good old H2O, Bobby Boucher. Right? You think you're drinking clean water, but look, you got polio water. Now you crippled. Damn, like, bro. Remember in the Batman movie? With the one with Bane, Dark Knight Rises, when they were poisoning the water?
Yeah.
It's being told to you what's happening.
predictive programming.
Con. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how the polio got into the water, bro, but it got there.
Yeah.
What's that?
I had a scripture.
Okay, what you got?
It's Isaiah chapter 26, verse 9 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
It says, with my soul have I desired thee in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. And the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. So I just wanted to bring that up. What's going on right now? These people, everything that's happening, they're not going to learn righteousness. You know, so
Nope, they're going to die.
Yeah.
And actually, I misspoke on this one. This is really going into Israel coming forth, not the destructions. I misread on that. I'm sorry. Who have heard such a thing, who have seen such things, shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day, or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to the birth and not cause to bring forth? So, what did the Most High promise to Abraham? That what? From him he'd be the father of a nation.
Right.
So what is he saying? Am I gonna break my promises or go against the things that I say? Am I gonna bring you this far and not bring it to pass?
Right.
Right. So this was not about the things that's going on in the earth, as far as the destructions, but the promise that the Most High made as far as bringing us into that nation, being a nation. Right. I'm sorry about that. Strike that from the record. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord,
Yeah.
shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb?
Right. Yeah. Am I going to cause you to bring forth and then shut the womb? That'd be pointless, right? Go ahead.
Saith thy God, rejoice ye with Jerusalem,
Right.
and be glad with her, all ye that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her, that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory.
Right. What is he saying? That, listen, they're going to be clinging to Jerusalem. He said to suck the breast of her consolation. We're going to be the nourishment of the world.
Wow.
Read.
For thus saith the Most High, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river.
Yeah, basically, remember, we read through all these Isaiahs, and he's prophesying this destruction, but then he also prophesies the restoration of the nation and how it's going to be done. Right? So what are we in, the last chapter of Isaiah? Yeah, so what is he showing? That, look, in the end, we're going to be what everybody's looking towards. Everything's going to be reversed. We get nourished by the world in a bad way, but we're going to be the nourishment, right? The law shall go forth from Zion.
Right.
Yes.
Right? We're going to be what everybody's looking at and what the world is hinged on.
Right.
Y'all see that? Right. So, go ahead.
And the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees.
Right. The Gentiles are going to be building us up. How is it going to happen? Well, thy gate shall never be shut day or night. Right? Isaiah 60.
Yes.
And the forces of the Gentiles shall be brought to you. Right? Kings and queens shall be your nursing fathers and nursing mothers. Right. Go ahead.
Verse 13. As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb, and the hand of the Most High shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation towards his enemies.
Why? Because he that leave in the captivity shall be led into captivity. He that live by the sword shall be killed by the sword. Right? Your possessors you're going to possess. We're going to know whose side the Most High is on when the roles are reversed. Read.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire,
Right?
and with his chariots.
The
Lord shall come with fire.
No, with love, peace, joy, and rainbows.
With fire.
Read.
And with his
You
chariots.
see that? So he's telling you how it's going to happen. What?
You know what's crazy? They always, like in the movies, they depict a lot of stuff that happens, right?
Yep.
But I don't ever see any depictions of this.
No. You're not going to, because then they might as well give you a black Jesus.
Right.
They're not going to give you this. That's too real. And they want you to believe that Christ is coming with forgiveness and love.
Yep.
That's what they want you to believe. And they want you to believe that all the chariots up there is a bunch of aliens that need to be shot down.
Right.
They're not going to show you this. Because then you're going to be scared and you're going to change and believe in Jesus. They want you to keep believing in them.
Right.
What's up?
And you ever notice like this, how this is, how this, the outlook of this will always be seen as being the villain in the story.
Yep.
Or the person who we're supposed to be against, right? That's how this is depicted with Esau, how they do in their movies.
Yep. Go ahead.
And chariots, with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury.
But Christ ain't angry. Not my Jesus. He's loving. He calls all babies and deers and sheep to him. He always has a sheep, a little baby lamb
in his
arms. And he always got children gathered around. So my Jesus ain't angry. I don't know what y'all talking about. What Bible y'all reading? Right? He always got the peace sign up with a, right? Yeah, he got them. He always doing right with the lamb, and the kids are gathered with angels all around him with the glowy thing over his head. My Jesus is different. No, we ain't them type of Christians. Read on.
That's a shirt.
That should be a shirt, right? We ain't them type of Christians. Israel, I hope you're listening. We ain't them type of Christians.
We had 3 ideas today.
Go ahead.
His anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh.
Go ahead.
And the slain of the Lord shall be many.
See that? They don't want to talk about this. Now, wait a minute. Christ is coming to kill? The slain of the Lord? Wait, hold up. What kind of cult y'all in? Oh, my brother. Oh, my sister. The day of the Lord is going to be darkness and not light.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be death. A lot of death and a lot of destruction. So, you know, you open one bag of cats, you got to open up all the bags.
That's correct.
Can't pick and choose.
Can't pick and choose, so they choose to not bring it out. Go ahead.
They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens.
Right.
Behind one tree in the midst.
Read.
Eating swine's flesh.
They doing what?
Eating swine's flesh.
Right.
And the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Most High.
What does that tell? The ones that ain't trying to follow the law, man. No type of righteousness. They're going to be the ones killed.
Yep.
Go ahead.
For I know their works and their thoughts.
Wait, they're what?
Their works.
Wait, what's going to get you killed?
Their works.
No, but if I just believe.
Their works.
No, but if I just go to church with my Bible in my hand.
Their works.
No, but I do good.
Their works.
Their what?
Their works.
Read.
And their thoughts.
And your thoughts. See that? Your faith. Read.
It shall come that I will gather all nations in tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations. Tarshish,
Right.
Pool, and Lud, that draw the bow to Tabal.
Right. So
and
you got Ham and you got Japhet. Read.
and Javan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory. And they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. And they shall bring all your brethren.
They shall do what?
Bring all your brethren.
Go ahead.
For an offering unto the Most High.
Right.
Out of all nations upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules.
Right.
And,
So, I mean, that's cold. Go ahead.
and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Most High. As the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel, into the house of the Most High. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Most High. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Most High, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass, that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High.
Woo.
And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me.
Yeah, because ain't nobody gonna bury them bodies. They're gonna be desolate in the land, just rotting. They're gonna be a sign.
Leave them there.
Go ahead.
For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be abhorring unto all flesh.
Just like Babylon is gonna be a perpetual burning, and you're gonna be able to look over like, oh yeah, damn, I remember, right? Hell no, I don't want to remember. I don't want to remember, but I remember. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. Yeah, it's burning because it was wicked.
Yeah, y'all see that?
Right? Y'all see it over there? It's because it was wicked.
Yeah.
You're gonna see that smoke like a furnace, man. That's man, beautiful. Where we going?
We're going to John chapter 6, verse 35.
And then I'll pick up.
You pick up at 48.
Go ahead.
Okay. John chapter 6, verse 35. And Yahushua said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I say unto you, that ye also have seen me, and believe not. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I am come down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the Father's will, which hath sent me, that of all which he hath given me, I will lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me, that every one which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life. And I will raise him up at the last day. The Jews then murmured at him.
Who did?
The Jews.
The heathen?
The Jews.
The Romans.
The Jews.
His own damn people. Murmured. Just like with Moses. Murmured. Go ahead. Just like Jeremiah, same thing. Murmured. Go ahead.
The Jews then murmured at him.
Stephen, when he was stoned up. Murmured. Jews. Read.
Because he said, I'm the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, is not this Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know?
So what are they trying to do here? They're trying to downplay Yahushua's validity. Yep. We know this dude, man. You just Joseph's son. You ain't nobody special.
I knew him since he was young.
Yeah, we changed your diapers, boy. Yeah, you fan? Oh, bro, I remember when I was changing your diapers.
Now you trying to tell me something?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you the right thing. It's no different. You know, when a person that we knew from the world, we try to administer a little wisdom to them, and they do what? Man, I remember when you was getting drunk with me in the bar.
Yep.
But am I doing that still?
Yep.
Right.
Is that my MO? Is that what I'm on? They have a way of surpassing or moving to the side your wisdom to look at the negative that you were once in, or just even not. It ain't got to be negative, because Yahushua being the son of Joseph don't make him negative.
Right.
But trying to downplay what you're about in that moment. Go ahead. Oh, what's that?
Just because you haven't evolved doesn't mean I haven't. Like, why you
Yeah.
in the past? I'm here in the present doing this.
Yeah.
Why you holding on to what's going on?
Crabs in a barrel mentality. Pull you down into their mire. Misery loves company. That whole mindset. Yep. Go ahead.
How is it then that he said, I came down from heaven? Yahushua therefore answered and said unto them, murmur not among yourselves. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him.
My sheep hear my voice. Read.
And I will raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of God.
Right. That's what, Jeremiah? So your children shall all be taught of the Most High? Yeah. See, he going right back into the prophets, because in the last day, that's what's going to happen. When the Most High raises up the nation, we ain't going to be taught America. We ain't going to be taught Egyptian. We ain't going to be taught Babylonian. We going to be taught Israel, Hebrew, what the Most High wants, laws, statutes, commandments. Go ahead.
Every man, therefore, that hath heard and hath learned of the Father cometh unto me. Not that any man have seen the Father, save he which is of God, he have seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me hath everlasting life.
What do I read to? 49. I am that bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. So they weren't understanding what? The resurrection, the sacrifice. Yahushua was going to give himself for what world? First of all, Israel.
That's right.
Right? He was going to give himself and be that sacrifice for the people. And, you know, once you put your mind on what he sacrificed, what it was supposed to make you do. Do the same. Follow his sacrifice, but not have to die.
Right.
That death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But be that sacrifice, that living sacrifice for your people.
Live how he lived.
Live how he lived, walk how he walked, but you didn't have to die the way he died. You see that? He was going to give his body for you to be able to save your soul. Yeah, that's why, you know, we say, like, Yahushua didn't die for you to be a homosexual. He didn't die for you to be on drugs. He didn't die for you to have to repent 50 million times over the same thing. He died for you to get it right. He died so you didn't have to die. Right? So let's jump over to what? Wisdom of Solomon?
Yes, sir. Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon 17.
Wisdom of Solomon 17. We're almost to the finish line. Wisdom of Solomon. I hope y'all are taking good notes, and especially we dive into this Apocrypha, because I know a lot of people don't read the Apocrypha a lot. It's a good chance to get a lot of the Apocrypha meat. Wisdom of Solomon 17. For great are thy judgments, and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses and prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there, exiled from the eternal providence. So this is going to go in. He's going to go explicitly into one of the plagues of darkness, and he's going to show you what were they dealing with in this plague. You know, if you read this Wisdom of Solomon, that's what he's really jumping it back and forth. Egypt and the wilderness. He's really dealing on those two things: Egypt and the wilderness. Egypt and the wilderness. The plagues in the wilderness. 3. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. Check this out. For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear. So they was hiding in the corners of their houses, fearful, forgetful. Why? They forgot their sins, but now they're just so on the fear part, the fear factor. Strange apparitions is going to tell you.
Strange sights.
Huh?
We just read it. I will choose your delusions.
Yeah. See how it goes hand in hand? So they start getting these delusions and apparitions.
Dang.
5. No power of the fire might give them light. So imagine you light a fire, just
Even if it's
for Neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. They were seeing ghosts, but you couldn't see nothing. Think about that. It was so dark, you couldn't light a fire, but you were seeing spirits.
No.
Most High is the king of terrors, man.
God.
It said with heavy countenances. No power of the fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten the horrible night. Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. For being much terrified, they thought that the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. Damn. So you hear water rushing, you don't know where it's coming from. You hear lions roaring, you see ghosts. So it wasn't just darkness. But it was so dark. Yeah, like you like don't know. Then you're forgetful.
Yeah.
Bro, the Most High was hitting them.
Scared.
God.
He was hitting them. For the illusions of art magic, as for the illusions of art magic, they were put down. And their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. Because they tried to make light with magic and they try to do these things with their magicians, but it said it was put down. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from the sick soul were sick themselves of fear. So they're magicians. Man, we need the magicians to come and y'all gonna make some light. Nope, they were too scared to even venture out the house. Right? Worthy to be laughed at. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that pass by and hissing of serpents. Damn. They died for fear. Denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. For wickedness condemned by their own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things.
So what does that mean?
For wickedness condemned by her own weakness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience. For wickedness condemned. Get me sometimes you just gotta get a different word play. Got an idea what it's getting into. It's that your conscience playing on you. Watch, let's see. Was it Solomon 17, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta get a more plain wording. 17 and what?
17:11.
So this says, let's see here. For even if nothing disturbing frightened them, yet scared by the passing of wild animals and hissing of snakes, they perished trembling in fear, refusing to look even at the air, though it nowhere could be avoided. For wickedness is a cowardly thing, condemned by its own testimony, distressed by conscience. It has always exaggerated the difficulties. So, how do we word that plainly? Wickedness is a cowardly thing, right? Condemned by its own testimonies, distress. You know, you ever hear, my mind is playing tricks on me? It's sort of like that, where, think about it. A person does something wicked, and then things start to happen around them.
Your own wickedness, correct?
You know, the first thing that hits is your conscience, your mind, right? You're doing some wickedness, and then you hop in the car and you start driving, and there's almost an accident. And what do you remember? Oh, damn, I was doing some wickedness, right? So now the things that are happening around you are becoming more apparent that, oh, I could be caught up in this, right? But what killed them?
Their conscience.
Yeah, their conscience killed. They said they died for fear.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the thing. What wild beasts? It didn't say they got bit by wild beasts or serpent. They just heard them.
Just heard it,
Right.
yeah.
So think about it. You hear the you hear the lions roar in the water, and then what do you start to think about?
What you did.
To start thinking about all the negative.
I hit that Hebrew last week.
Yeah, you start to get all the negative things that, oh, damn, maybe I deserve this. So your conscience starts to beat you down, and that killed them. Their conscience, right? I mean, that's as plain as I could put it.
You want the definition for timorous?
What you got?
Timorous, full of or subject to fear.
Right. So, what was that? 11.
17.
For wickedness condemned by their own weakness is very fearful, and be impressed with the conscience always forecasts grievous things. Right. So it's like a person that got a guilty conscience. What are they always going to look at? The negatives, and any little thing is like, oh, see, ooh. Oh, right. They're going to be looking for the negative in things. That's what they were dealing with. So the Most High was playing mind games on them on a high level.
Yeah, that's crazy.
On a high level. Just off being dark. You can only imagine the things that was going on. Like,
You can only imagine what was going through their minds too. Like, they never feared the Most High. They only feared like Pharaoh or their gods.
yep.
The Most High is more powerful than Pharaoh and their gods. So this was completely out of their element. Like,
Especially when they weren't like, the only person that could really expect something like this or knew to expect was Pharaoh.
Yeah.
So imagine the people where they're like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
We didn't do nothing. But then you start to recollect, like, oh, we did do something. I remember when I did this. I remember when I did that. I remember when I did that. And now your conscience is beating you down. And every little thing that seemed like it can harm you because you're fearful is playing with your mind. That's why it's going to go into this next. Watch. Check this out. 12. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the secures which reason offereth. So that's what fear is. So it's going into what fear is. Why were they fearful? Because they betrayed their secures because of the reason that the Most High gave them to. What was their secures? What were they secure in? Their gods. But the reason to now be insecure in their gods is because when it was time for the magicians to make light, they couldn't do it.
Damn.
Because they were fearful too. When it was time for their gods to act, their God didn't act. So now they're insecure. They're not secure no more in their God. So now that's where fear, think about it, when we fear, where does it come from? When we lose security in the thing that is supposed to happen, that we lose security in the Most High.
Yes.
That's why we fear. We lose the security by the reasoning that comes along. The trial of a man is in his reasoning. So you go through a trial because you lose faith and confidence, or you don't go through the trial because you stay faithful. But whatever reason is offered, that's what you're going to go off of. So there's a reason to stay faithful, but there's a reason to be fearful. Well, which reason are you going to take? Right? So that's why it's telling you, fear is nothing else but a betraying or a putting off of your security blanket, by which reason offereth. So think about it. You got people that their job is their security blanket, right? Let's just use that real quick. But then let's say they fell on hard times and they know that their job is only going to provide them with a certain amount of money every 2 weeks. They'll lose security in their job as far as using that as their only means of income, and they might go do something shady. Why? Because I know that my security in this job could only go so far. I got to go find another means. That's why you got people that they'll work a job and sell drugs. right? They'll work a job and be a prostitute. Why? Because it only can secure me so far. It can only secure me so much to where now I gotta have another security blanket, right? Well, the reasoning, but I don't want to have faith. I don't want to have belief in the Most High, right? And we know them out there ain't believing in the Most High and having faith anyway, right? So, what reasoning is propelling you to be fearful? That's what it's saying, right? 13, and the expectation from within being less counteth the ignorance more than the cause. See that? Your ignorance starts to take hold more than what's really happening. It says the expectation from within. What's in a man? Right? The expectation from within being less counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. So being ignorant is more of a torment than actually what's going on. They were so ignorant, it wasn't even about the darkness no more. It was about the fear and the lack of security in them. You see that? But they sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable. So even when they try to go to sleep, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of the inevitable hell, were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted, their heart failing them. For a sudden fear and not looked for came upon them. So imagine you try to fall asleep and then all of a sudden you got dreams. Most High threw dreams in your head. So even when you try to shut off your eyes, bro, the Most High was playing with their minds. Dang. So then whosoever there fell down was straitly kept, shut up in prison without iron bars. He put them in a prison in their minds. Dang. For whether he were husbandman or shepherd, or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity which could not be avoided. For they were all bound with one chain of darkness. Whether it were a whistling wind or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a terrible sound of stones cast down, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts. Damn, bro. Or a roaring voice of most savage wild beasts, or a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains. These things made them to swoon for fear. For the whole world shined, check this out, for the whole world shined with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Who's that talking? That's us, Israel. Over them only was spread in heavy night, an image of that darkness which should afterwards receive them, but yet were they unto themselves more grievous, than the darkness.
So they weren't able to see that we had light, but we could see that they were in darkness.
I'm guessing so, yeah. I mean, remember, we had, you had Goshen where we were, but then the stuff that they had us building and working on, that was up there anyway. They were a little bit lower. They were like Middle Egypt. Huh?
So look at the room to see darkness.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I mean, to say that we could see that, I don't know if we could see that they had darkness. I know we knew that we had light.
I think in their scripture that talks about how we could see that there was darkness.
I have to find that. I'm not saying that it's not, but I don't remember reading that. But it does, I mean, over them was the night, over us was day. So, could we have seen it? Maybe. But, proximity and all that stuff, remember, we were up here. Where they had us working was up in that area also. where they had us building and aqueducts and all that stuff, you know, they weren't that far south from Goshen. Egypt is huge, like very big, right? So you just got to kind of understand the map and you'll be able to see it. And it's like, well, I mean, could you look and be like, man, what's that darkness down there? Maybe. Like how you look and see all the clouds now and say, damn, it's dark over there. So I'm pretty sure in the daytime you look, you're like, whoa, what's that black? You know, depending on how it's set up.
Yeah.
I know, like it's like when we talk about Colorado a lot. It's funny when you're in Colorado's like a big basin. You got the mountains in the west, and you know you can look to the mountains, and all the weather comes that way from the mountains, from the west to the east.
Wow.
And you can look, and when you know, like especially in these times, like what are we in August? Not really August. It was more like June and July. You know how it was raining? It would be hot and then rain here in the evening. Out there, you look to the west and you just see this black wall from one end of the state to the other of just clouds, and you're like, oh wow, we're about to get monsooned on. And that would happen every evening because it'd be so hot, then a little bit of cool, and then the clouds, and then boom, you could look and just see the black wall coming. And your whole thing was drive east home. You know, like, get home. As soon as you saw that, go home, but you could see that darkness. So, you know, is how the Most High had it set up as far as how was that darkness to us if we could look into the sky and see it. I don't know. If it came in the form of clouds to block that out, I would imagine that's probably how he did that. To make it so dark that they ain't get no sunlight, he just threw a bunch of chariots up there.
Those stars.
Yeah, he turned the lights off. He threw the chariots up. He said, block it out. No light, no sun, nothing. And then we're going to make it so dark, we're not going to make it to where the air got enough oxygen to be able to, because that's when you read it, it sounded like they were just the oxygen, like he was sucking the oxygen out the air and making them damn delusional. Think about it. It said they were more grievous to themselves in the darkness. So what were they doing? They were killing themselves. They were suicide missioning themselves, hyperventilating, all that stuff, and dying. When you try to light a fire, you need oxygen to light a fire. Just if you go into the whole scientific, I'm not saying that that's what happened, but you could read it and say, damn, how did he do that? Oh, he zapped the oxygen out the air.
I believe it because there's bombs that they have that explode over the city and suck up all the air.
It'll suck the air out, yeah. Yep. And everything, all life dies, but he did it different where he didn't take out all the air. If that, not saying that happened. Not saying that happened like he just sucked the air out the room. No, I'm not saying that, but to not be able to light a fire, Most High, he shut that off, that ability. Whatever was needed to light that fire did not happen.
Man.
And then he playing with their minds.
Yeah, that was another thing I was just thinking about too. The fact that they had never experienced not only plagues before, but then this darkness, of course, being another plague. Like they've never experienced anything like that.
Nope. Not on any level. That's why some of them came with us. They're like, wait a minute, God is with y'all.
Yeah. I'm roll with y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with y'all. So, yeah, that's it. Any questions on that? You gotta find that one that you were talking about. If where it said we saw the darkness, you gotta find that one. I don't remember reading that. Watch. Unless thy saints had a very great light, whose voice they heard, whose voice they hearing. I mean, 18 and 1 down tells you. Watch, I'm gonna just read 18 real quick. Nevertheless, thy saints had a very great light, whose voice they hearing and not seeing their shape, because they also had not suffered the same things. They counted them happy. But this is Wisdom of Solomon 18. Remember, the chapters just go in, like 18, 17, talking about the same thing, right? The chapter is just the break for us, but this was all one idea, one letter. But for that they did not hurt them now, of whom they had been wronged before. They thanked them and besought them pardon for that they had been enemies. Instead whereof thou gavest them a burning pillar of fire, both to be guide of the unknown journey, and a harmless sun to entertain them honorably. For they were worthy to be deprived of light, and imprisoned in darkness, who had kept thy son shut up, by whom the uncorrupt light of the law was to be given unto the world. So let's hear the saints and what shall be. So now this is going into, he's going to jump back into Moses. He's going to jump back into Moses. So you see, he's jumping back and forth in these ideas, but nevertheless, thy saints had a very great light. So what is he jumping back into? Well, he's going right back into the beginning of Exodus, where we had a pillar by day, pillar by night, fire by day, that guided us. Because then it's going to go into the one child being cast forth to save, to reprove them. Thou tookest away the multitude of their children, and destroyed them altogether with a mighty water. Right? Of that night where our fathers. Right, we'll read that next week. Yeah. Yes, sir. Any questions? Darkness, everybody, darkness. Alright, that's it. I might want to point out for rise and face these. Oh. Hey, I'm gonna say it. Who we got online? We got 26 people. Remember, let me say this real quick. Let me just say this real quick. Health notification. Remember, the kids are back in school. So they're gonna be intermingling with a lot of different kids. You know, everybody ain't got the same clean level and hygiene level. What I do when my kids get home from school, I make them just go take a shower. Shower, change your clothes. That way, if you want to lay up in the bed, lay up on the couch, touch the baby, touch things, you know, they're not spreading too much germ. And it still didn't help. So, because my Shah got sick, a Warrior got sick, my Rib is sick, like, it's trying to spread, but you can still do, you know, the hand washing, the disinfecting, and things like that. But, you know, it's just some things we can't avoid, but it's gonna hit, it ain't gonna hit you so hard, right? Make sure you just trying to wash your hands. The main thing is the little bambinos and bambinas, right? The little ones that have the runny noses, that don't know no better, and they'll wipe, and they'll have the snot that goes from right here all the way to their finger, and they'll right, and rub it, and then touch the other kid. If they're running their noses are running that clear, gluey, and they do this the whole time because they're eating it. You gotta keep them home.
Yeah.
And wipe their noses, because all they're gonna do is this, and then touch things. And it doesn't matter how much you disinfect. Once they wipe the snot onto their hands, touch something, and if somebody else touches it, spread. It's over. Then you disinfect after the fact. So remember, if your kids are sick, You got to keep them, like your little kids. You know, if you're sick, stay home. But really, the little kids, because they're not aware of what they touch after they touch their mouth, after they touch their nose. I watch the little kids. They're all filthy. They're all filthy. They all do filthy little things. They eat off the floor quick. They've been stepped on 4 or 5 times. They eating it. I seen it yesterday. Babies grab something. Like, what the hell are you eating? And she was not trying to throw it away. She was like, I'm going to eat that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, you know, we got to just, you know, if your kids are running noses and they're little and small and they can't really fend for themselves or know better, you got to definitely keep them home, isolated. If you're sick, there's no point in trying to be around to get everybody else sick, and then now you're the only one around and everybody else is sick. Nah, stay home. Remember, if you're taking care of somebody sick, then you got to make sure you're fortified in your defenses, right? That means you got to be eating a little bit better. It's a time where we got to eat a little bit better, do a little bit more fasting, definitely staying in the spirit, and doing those things. All right, so just reminding y'all, we want everybody to be around, but damn, we can't keep having sickness just rotate through the school. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be good for nobody. Remember Passover garments, get that money in, please. Feast on the 26th of next month, Memorial of Blowing of the Trumpets. We got the summit in Virginia. We got Passover coming up. So, you know, the agenda, the things that we got on our plate about to start ramping up. The Hanukkah, that's going to come up quick. Tabernacles, quick. Right? So what is it? Trumpets, tabernacles, Hanukkah. Right? Somebody agree with me. La?
Yeah.
Right? I know we got tabernacles.
Yep, that's it. That's the word.
Right. And I know we got Hanukkah.
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
Right. So those are the next 3. So then that's it. So yeah, you know, so we got those 3 things, you know, we want everybody to be around for the high holy days. So try not to be sick, keep things clean, wash your hands. That's it. I might be more pointing up, but no. Barak Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai. Shemai. Aitai. Shalach. Micah Allah. We ask that you send to us much wisdom, knowledge, understanding, spiritual powers, Baruch Bashah. Hear our prayers, hear our cries. Send unto us. I said this already. Much wisdom, knowledge, understanding, patience, faith, brotherhood, and send your son Yahweh Shai. Quickly, for in thee is our hope. Ba'ashem Yahweh the water, the yad, aman. And I blow these ram's horn and I feel a tickle in my throat. Yeah. I'm feeling it.
Ben, do you want me to do it?
No, bro. That's the problem. Y'all mouthing these. Barak Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah.
Bless are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the law.
Barak Yahweh.
Ba'ashem
Yahweh Shai. Hawa'ah. A war. La Ra'ah.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the light to see.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Ha'ayin.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us ram's horn to call the people.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh Shai. Korah.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Shaman.
Shaman.
Zayat. Lamashat.
Yasharal. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel.
Psalms 92. It is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Give thanks unto Yahweh.
To give thanks unto Yahweh.
Sing praises unto thy name.
To sing praises unto thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
Show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
And thy faithfulness every night.
And thy faithfulness every night.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
Upon the psaltery.
Upon the psaltery.
And upon the harp with the solemn sound.
And upon the harp with the solemn sound.
For thou, O Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy work.
Has made me glad through thy
I
work.
will triumph in the works of thy hand.
I will triumph in the works of thy hand.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh.
how great are thy works.
How great are thy works.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
And thy thoughts are very
A
deep.
brutish man knoweth not.
A brutish man knoweth not.
Neither do a fool understand it.
Neither do a fool understand
When the
it.
wicked spring as the grass.
When the wicked spring as the grass.
And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
But thou,
Yahweh,
Yahweh, are most high forevermore.
Are most high forevermore.
For lo, thine enemy.
For lo, thine enemy.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh.
for lo, thine enemy shall perish.
For lo, thine enemy shall perish.
All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered.
All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered.
But my horn, shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn.
Shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn.
I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
My eye also shall see.
My eye also shall see.
My desire of mine enemy.
My desire of my enemy.
And my ears shall hear.
And my ears shall hear.
My desire of the wicked.
My desire of the wicked.
That rise up against me.
That rise up against me.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
He shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon.
He shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon.
Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh Shai.
Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh Shai.
Shall flourish in the courts of the Most High.
Shall flourish in the courts of the Most High.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They will be fat and flourishing.
They will be fat and
To
flourishing.
show that Yahweh is upright.
To show that Yahweh is upright.
He is our rock.
He is our rock.
And there is no unrighteousness in him.
And there is no unrighteousness in him.
This is Psalms 133. Shayar.
Shayar.
Hamalawat.
Hamalawat.
Ladawad.
Ladawad.
Hana.
Hana.
Matawad.
Matawad.
Wama.
Wama.
Na'ayam.
Na'ayam.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Akim.
Akim.
Gum.
Gum.
Yachad.
Yachad.
Hashaman.
Hashaman.
Matawad.
Matawad.
Al.
Al.
Hara'ash.
Harash.
Yarad.
Yarad.
Al.
Al.
Hazakwan.
Hazakwan.
Zakwan.
Zakwan.
Aharon.
Aharon.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Alpayah.
Alpayah.
Manawathyawa.
Manawathyawa.
Katal.
Katal.
Harawan.
Harawan.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Isle.
Isle.
Hararia.
Hararia.
Tazayawan.
Tazayawan.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Sham.
Sham.
Tazawa.
Tazawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ath.
Ah.
Habaraka.
Habaraka.
Kayayam.
Kayayam.
Aid.
Aid.
Ha'awalam.
Hallelujah. This is Psalm chapter 133. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High commanded the blessing, even life forevermore.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
The yard.
The yard.
Come on.
Come on.
Circle up. Feel the hit beat.
Oh, no.
I feel it coming. I'm about to go home and purge.
The sickness.
Move over. It froze anyway. It froze.
It froze all day.
Yeah, it froze. I wonder why it's doing that.
It's frozen.
Call it.
Men of Israel, Almighty, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barak.
Kum Yisrael!
Kum Yisrael!
Kum Yisrael!
Kum Yisrael!
Kum Yisrael!
Kum Yisrael!
Yo, Daniel Matai, hands down. Sisters, please rise. I feel it coming. It's in my throat. It's starting to itch. I can't let go. Call it.
Slewing out the daughters of Zion, men of Israel, Almighty, Barak.
Yahweh Shema Lathan Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Daniel Matai. Smiths fall out. Yeah, these right here got they got all the germies.
The uncleanness.
Because the filthy kids was blown on those.
Chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the brothers and the sisters.